higher quality than Philadelphia was.
Yeah, they were their last couple of years they had struggled. Buffalo is always a contender. Even when they're not, they're always a contender. And the fact that we turned it around like that is very amazing. And
so here's the key
hopefully
stats.
They keep going.
I'm going to tell you why they won. Saturday night in Buffalo, their power play was 4 for 5, and the penalty kill 2 for 2.
That's
okay?
classic Nighthawks.
Awesome. And Sunday, power play 5 for 7, penalty kill 6 for 7. Yeah. That's great. That's how you win.
That's
right
that's the classic Nighthawks teams that we've seen dominate.
And the other thing, they spread the scoring out. Okay, Saturday night, Joe Walters 3 goals, 1 assist, 4 points. Craig Point 4 goals, 1 assist, 5 points. Keogh 3 goals, no assists, 3 points. Jordan Hall 3 goals, 2 assists, 5 points. Dan Dawson 2 goals, 6 assists, 8 points. Cody Jameson 9 assists. Okay,
there is the one problem though of the whole good old-fashioned blowing leads, and that happened.
Okay, they are still they're
that
very
was a
streaky,
problem.
and they actually they finished Saturday's game with 6 straight goals to beat Buffalo, and they finished Sunday's game with 4 straight goals.
Mm-hmm.
And so every game they've won because they've gone on a streak at the end of the game,
scoring run,
right? And the game they lost, one of the games they lost against Toronto, the home opener. Toronto went on their run in the fourth quarter,
and that's kind of the thing about lacrosse is it comes in waves,
right? Especially the indoor game.
Mm-hmm. And
exactly how it works.
And it's great, but it can leave you very frustrated because you're like, you were just up by 6 points, now they're winning, but that's just a part of box lacrosse and indoor lacrosse. Momentum swings really do help.
It really is.
And things like anything can change that. Big hits. I mean, the point where fights almost don't do that anymore. There was a good fight in the New England game.
Yeah, Stephen Keogh, right?
Yeah, but Stephen Keogh got he lost that fight.
I didn't see the fight, did he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, he did. He lost pretty good. He fought Billy O'Brien.
The other guy got tossed though.
Exactly.
Why did the other guy get? Because he was so aggressive.
Well, I don't. They just tossed him, and I think there's a new rule that they tossed him after the fight.
No, it was probably for an aggressor. Did he really beat the crap out of him?
Well, the thing was, Stephen Keogh, he laid the hit, and he dropped the gloves and tried to drop his helmet.
Okay.
So, I mean, it wasn't like he just came and attacked him. Basically, yeah, Keogh did not get thrown out.
Yeah, there was something.
I don't understand why that happened.
I'm sure it was either like a tie down. Okay, you got to have your jersey tied, just like hockey. You have to have your jersey tied down. Maybe his jersey wasn't tied down. Or maybe it was an aggressor. Maybe was Keogh down on the floor after the fight and he got punched him in the back of the head or something like that? I don't know.
He Keogh got beat and the fight ended and O'Brien went to the locker room.
Yeah.
Keogh stayed in the game, but that momentum shift happened for the Hawks really, even though they won the fight. It
didn't help New England.
It didn't help them at all. And that's one of those things where that kind of takes that element out of there.
Yeah.
It was a good fight, though.
But, the Nighthawks are very physical.
Yes, they are. This year they are.
Especially these games against New England for some reason.
Well, New England's
But
it
was the same. They used to be Philadelphia.
Yeah.
There was that famous bench-clearing brawl in Philadelphia, I think not last year but the year before, right, where the goalies fought Goodleaf. Didn't Angus?
Angus Goodleaf.
Angus had a nice brouhaha on that. No, that was regular season. That wasn't preseason.
Oh, I'm talking. I missed. You're right. I was talking about the really big one between Toronto and
Buffalo. That was the most. That was the most famous box lacrosse brawl ever, probably.
No, the one. Yeah, Angus Goodleaf did get his. He's a big boy.
Oh, and here's the other very positive from the weekend. Matt Vince had been struggling so far, which was very uncharacteristic of him.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like he got his game back last week, Friday night in Minnesota. They only allowed 7 goals. They lost 7-6. They just couldn't score, right?
Mm-hmm.
He played well enough.
Too.
He played back-to-back nights, which I didn't think would happen. I thought they'd play Goodleaf one of the nights. No, they wanted to really get Vince going. I guess he probably said he felt okay.
You think Vince is maybe starting to be on the decline?
No.
Of his career?
No. All right, here's the thing. I think the whole team has the same issue, and it's a matter. And Chris Driscoll, the Nighthawks color commentator, he mentioned this during halftime of the New England game. It's a matter of motivation, okay? Mm-hmm. You win 3 championships in a row. You kind of got that swagger like you're the best in the league because you are. Everyone's gunning for you. Everyone wants to beat you every night. It takes a matter – I think it's a matter of motivation. It seems like the Nighthawks really really like beating Buffalo.
Oh, yes.
They really like beating Buffalo. And I think it was the perfect thing to get their season going to have games against Buffalo, 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, yeah, and I can agree with you there. Buffalo and Toronto are two teams that the Nighthawks like beating, but I think it's more of they don't like losing to them.
Agreed. Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
It does, yeah. It's a matter of pride, yeah.
And teams like New England, New England, they're sort of nobodies in that first New England game. They probably could have won, but,
Yeah, they never that first New England game where they lost 17-7. They never really got it going at all.
And I think you're maybe onto something with what you're saying.
And I think, now it seems like they're getting their swagger back a little bit.
Oh, definitely. This weekend was to me showed that maybe it's starting to gel together. Maybe the players are starting to get a little hungrier for it. And you might be right, coming off a 3-championship run.
Right. And it is a long season.
Yeah.
They're still, they're 4-3 now, second place. Toronto is 6-1.
Toronto,
which wow, because Toronto was 9-9 last year,
mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden they're 6-1. So that came out of nowhere. And you know what? But I had a feeling, even in the preseason, we played Toronto twice in the preseason.
Yeah.
And lost twice.
Oh yeah.
Handily.
Yeah.
And then they beat us the first 2 times in the regular season. So Toronto is legitimate. They might be the actual cup contender,
and that's
like Edmonton was last year.
That's typical of the NLL that Toronto is a contender. That's why it was odd for a few years to see them kind of as not one.
Right. All right, we're going to shift back to soccer. The Mohican Warrior, Elliot Fauske, joins us from the Warrior Cave, or are you mobile?
No, I am holed up in the Warrior Cave.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay, are you getting okay reception down there?
It's decent. I've extended my foil bunny ears, so it's going pretty well.
Good, excellent. All right, so as long as we can hear each other, that's perfect. So, strange weekend of soccer for the Lancers, Elliot, getting shut out Friday night in Baltimore, which is rare in arena soccer to see a shutout. Very rare. Getting shut out. And then coming back the next day and scoring the most points all season, 28 points. You played on Saturday. You didn't make the trip to Baltimore, did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So, yeah, it seemed like that was just a frustrating game. But then, you guys looked good on Saturday, and it was your first home game back this season. How'd that feel?
Yeah, it was incredible. I wasn't sure I was going to play it all this season, maybe never again. So when my hand started feeling a lot better, I was just pumped up and ready to get back out there. And so I've been training for about 2.5 weeks. The issue is I couldn't go to Baltimore because although my head feels really good, my legs aren't at par. So for 8 months, I couldn't really exercise without getting a headache. So it's taking some getting used to. My fitness isn't where it should be. I'm not as sharp as I'd like to be. And so I just wasn't comfortable going down to Baltimore and then turning around and playing a game 14 hours later back up here in Rochester.
That makes sense.
The guys did.
That makes sense.
So, yeah, as far as getting shut out, we did not play well. Missed our chances in Baltimore. Baltimore is a class team. We've actually never beat them. But the last time we played them, it was
16-0, I think now is Baltimore.
Right. Yeah, we were very competitive with them last time we went down there. And, we were within a goal all game. But then this time we just fell flat. Very disappointing result. They were coming off a 2-game losing streak on the West Coast, so they were rearing.
Right.
I know their coach is down their neck about that. So that was unfortunate. Then we turned it around against, a weaker opponent, Harrisburg, and we also, had to step our game up. For me, that was the only game I played, and that was just fantastic to be able to play at home again. So I'd played the one away game this season.
Right. Yeah, it must have felt great to be back, and of course we saw your performances.
That was a good performance, by the way.
At halftime. First of all, I got to ask you about the halftime interview with Brooke the intern. What were you singing?
The Battle Hymn of the Republic.
Okay. Which is that's a famous American song, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
didn't we have to sing
absolutely.
that in grade school?
No, I didn't.
Oh, was that if you live in the South? Was this like a Confederate
no,
song?
No.
No. It was a song from the
Union
North.
song.
So the history of the song, the tune itself was some old folk song, and then guys started doing parodies of it in the 1800s. The war guys would make up silly songs to that tune, and it was very catchy, and they'd use it to inspire themselves. And then eventually people penned different lyrics. This one woman wrote it, and that's what really stuck. So she used really powerful imagery of like biblical Armageddon, God returning, crushing his foes, and turned it and combined that with the concept of the Northern armies, trying to keep the Union together and, overtake slavery. So one of the lines that I didn't sing, I only sang the first verse, but it's like, as he died, so talking about Christ, like as he died to make men holy, let us die to make men free. So like as Christ died for other people, let's die so the slaves can be free. So that's kind of the concept. I just sang this first verse, so that was my Valentine's love song I chose.
I like that. Being a history
share with the crowd.
A student of history, I liked it. I thought it was cool.
You're a pretty good singer too.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Inspiring.
I haven't been told that a lot in my life. I'm a karaoke junkie. When my throat's up to it, I've had some throat issues, unfortunately. But
and then that was followed by the dance with the Junior Lancer Dancers and Lancer Louie. Of course, we had some intel beforehand that this was coming. So, but the video was fantastic. You're an excellent dancer.
How long did you guys practice that routine? It was pretty spot on.
Yeah, I went out with the Junior Lancer Dancer team to a couple of their practices so we could, Lancer Louie and myself, put in a lot of long blood, sweat, and tears into it. And the Lancers originally signed me as a Lancer dancer, and then they found out I could play soccer.
What about your attire? Where'd that come from?
Oh man.
Oh, that's right. I did know that. I'm like, that looks very familiar. That outfit that he's wearing.
I stole his purple pants from my friend's daughter. She, a high school girl. I saw him. I was like, I love your pants. She said I could have them. I said I promise.
And of course, you're a high school girl at heart, so you're.
Yeah. So I was like, man. So I gotta have those pants. The shorts I got in Seattle years ago. Those are a beautiful pair of short and shiny.
Yeah.
And then the sequin top was actually when I was with you gentlemen at the archive, the record archive.
Yes, the record archive. Yep.
Yeah, I got it there, man. And the vintage women's clothing, they had, it was beautiful. That was the display shirt.
Yes, it was.
Nice and sparkly.
Yeah,
it was great.
John and I were talking before we called you that like John was like his eyes just lit up when he saw that outfit.
When you saw it, just your attention went from talking about the show to just your head turns and
it's like I have to have this.
It was great.
Yeah, the human disco ball was the goal. So.
You achieved it.
I had to keep up with the young ladies, man. Those junior high girls have some wild outfits. So it's like, man, I can't be looking like an old stat. The warrior lives. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So now listen.
Very entertaining halftime
now
show.
This lends the question now, John. Who is the best player / halftime entertainer in the MASL?
Okay.
Is it Dominic Cicluna or is it Elliot Fauske?
Well, Cicluna's halftime show was, you got to give it to him. That was entertaining.
He does that everywhere on the road as well.
However, the Warrior is entertaining in a different way.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather watch a Warrior entertainment show than a Dominic Cicluna entertainment show.
I like both, but I think
they're both showmen.
I think the Warrior needs to now continue this.
Yes,
I don't think
agree.
This should be a one and done deal.
She's up it every time.
Right. Is there anything else possibly planned for halftime entertainment in the future at the Blue Cross Arena, Warrior?
I mean, we play it by ear. Come on out, check out the live event. I will. That dance is not dead. I will say that will be happening one more time before the end of the season. So, little teaser out there.
All right,
nice.
I like it. So, are you back for good now? Are you going to be in the playoff run out there on the field?
That's my plan, man. I go from the Warrior Cave to the ice bath to the massage table to the field at this point, trying to keep my legs pushing. 8 months was quite a stint not to be playing, so I'm definitely feeling the everyday training. So, but my plan is, Lord willing, that I stay healthy enough to make this whole run.
And of course, the Lancers clinched the playoffs with the victory over Harrisburg on Saturday. and it was announced that the Atlanta